So I got connected through Dr. Buck Joffrey. So I followed his podcast for the last couple of years. I've seen a lot of the videos that you guys post on there with regarding the whole life, Velocity Plus. And I reached out to Buck probably a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, and started working with him. And he's the one that suggested, because he knew that I had some whole life policies, and he suggested, hey, why don't you talk to Rod and take a look at the Velocity Plus, which is what I ended up going through you guys for with the Kaizen policy. So yeah, it's been a great experience with that particular policy. I wasn't too sure how I felt about the Index Universal Life, and after talking to you about it, you get educating me on it and stuff. It just made quite a bit of sense looking into that. So yeah, it's been a good experience. It's probably something I wouldn't have looked into if I didn't take the time to go over that with you to really see what the options are with it and stuff. Because I heard a lot of negative stuff about those type of policies. But once we went over the details and everything, it really made a lot of sense, especially when you get to leverage money from the bank. There's only a 5-year commitment. So a lot of those things were very appealing. And then on the policy, once we were looking at it, there was a lot of stuff on there that made a lot of sense. It was very appealing, but to take it out under myself for the insurance, it was a little bit pricier than what I was hoping to pay at the time, just because I have other commitments with my other policies. But once we looked at getting it under my wife's name, which made it a lot cheaper, it just made it way easier, much easier decision to go that route and get something started. So yeah, it's been a great experience. Policy, what was very appealing was it was only a 5-year commitment. I have other policies with whole life that those are 30-year commitments. This one was completely different. It was only 5 years. And then I don't have to worry about it. The other policies, they're used to take money out, invest it, do some real estate stuff with it. This one, I didn't have to worry about that. We just put the money in there, leverage money from the bank, and then we're looking out 25 years down the road. It's really going to help out with my wife and I for our retirement. So it was very appealing going that route, doing something completely different than what I was doing originally. Start off with the videos. Start off going through the videos, because with what I found with life insurance policies is it's all on how it's designed. And the agent has to take the time to structure it properly if you're going to be happy with that policy 5 years, 10 years down the road. I know other people who've gotten policies that 5 years into it, they're just not so happy with it because they don't have that flexibility or the cash value that they were thinking they were going to have initially. And it all comes down to how it's getting structured. So getting educated, watching your guys' videos and stuff is very helpful. You guys have been very helpful with any questions. I know in my particular case, there was a couple of things that I was kind of hung up on that I had to ask a couple of times in order to really process it and understand it. So yeah, you guys take the time to really educate somebody and figure things out for their situation, because everybody's going to be in a different situation. So what worked for myself isn't always going to work for the next person. So the fact that the policies are designed specifically for that person, it's going to make it huge in the end. So that way you're happy 5-10 years down the road with what you purchased. you
Perfect.
know
Thank you.
I think it's just getting started. A lot of people with the insurance, with a whole life, Index Universal Life, they don't really understand it, so they're going to dismiss it. But when you sit here and look at things and see how the benefit you can get and the flexibility of having these plans, it's definitely worth it. Just taking the time to educate yourself on it. It may be something that you're in a position to get started on it, or 5 years down the road, maybe 10 years down the road, it's something that is going to be very appealing to you. So like I said, everybody's situation is going to be different. But if you're at least educated on it, then you can make an informed decision once that time comes.